Hello everyone, this is the Eclectic Mr. D, and welcome to my channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's begin. Today I'm attempting a recipe I found on the internet at a site called foodparse.com. This site is run by a young student named Elaine, who is presently a computer science major at MIT. So shout out to Elaine and all her efforts to share her knowledge and experience with novice cooks such as myself. Now, I've chosen this particular recipe for one key reason. Its ingredients list is really short and consists of only 2 items, flour and water. It seems simple enough, yet as this is my first attempt at really cooking it, anything could really happen and I make no guarantees. First step in these instructions is to put a baking sheet in the oven and preheat the oven to 475 degrees. Now, Elaine, who provided this recipe, lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts, just on the other side of the Charles River from Boston. Boston is a low-lying coastal city with a base elevation of 10 feet. I myself live at a much higher base elevation of 4,500 feet. As a result, modifications to instructions are often necessary. Pick up just about any popular baking mix, and you will probably find high-altitude instructions printed somewhere on the packaging. While I don't know for certain what modifications would give the best results, I have chosen to use a fairly common approach of lowering the temperature by 25 degrees and keeping everything else the same. The second step in the instructions is to prepare a clean work surface with 2 tablespoons of flour, a rolling pin, and a fork. The instructions go on to say that, if keeping kosher, set a timer for 16 minutes, 18 minutes maximum, and to start the timer. However, this being my first time, coupled with the fact that I am not Jewish, I am not planning to stick to the strict requirements of kosher, and will allow as much time as necessary to complete the process. Here therefore are the items she requested. You'll note that while not in its original packaging, I have chosen to use all-purpose white flour I have on hand. However, in future iterations, I may go as far as to use self-ground flour, which will definitely change the appearance and other aspects of the result. For step 4, I have taken 1 cup of flour and put it in a simple ceramic bowl from IKEA. I have then taken 1/3 cup of water and poured it into the bowl, then proceeded to mix it with the fork. When the dough seems sufficiently mixed, then it's time to pour it out onto the floured surface. This is so that we can start kneading the dough and making it into a form. Now, this takes a bit of time, so at this point I'm going to try and speed up the film so you guys don't have to wait as long as I did in this process. Step 5 is to divide the dough into 4 balls and roll out each bowl into a large thin circle. At this point in the process, the dough can best be described as flaky. So as you watch this video, you'll sometimes see me pick up little pieces to push back into the dough to try and keep the mass together. The flaky bits, if they're left, will just dry out and form a hard paste. I'm not very good at actually rolling out the dough, so mine don't actually come out to be circular like I would hope. Now we move on to step 6. Using a fork, quickly pierce each bread about 25 times on each side to prevent rising. The hole should go completely through the bread. In the experiments I've done since doing this, it doesn't appear to be totally necessary to pierce it, although Without doing so, there is a slight bit of rising in the bread. The last 3 steps of Elaine's recipe are actually pretty quick. Step 7 says, with at least 5 minutes left on the timer if you're being kosher, remove the hot baking pan from the oven. Step 8 states to place the bread onto the baking sheets, and it's okay if they overlap. Lastly, step 9 is to bake for 2 minutes, carefully flip over the breads, and bake for an additional 2 minutes until the matzah is lightly browned and crisp. Into a few seconds now. Looks like it's starting to change form. I'm going to use a nice big spatula. Now at this point, I can tell that there is a bit of a difference. Putting it back in. Setting the timer, 2 more minutes. Okay, a couple of seconds. Now, I don't know if these are done. They look like they might be a little underdone. Maybe that I got the adjustments for height above sea level wrong. But this is a first video, this is the first attempt. At this point, I'm just going to turn everything off. I do not know how to handle these kosher because I'm not Jewish. And I hope I don't offend anybody who is by the way I may handle these. I'm just trying it because it's very, very simple recipe. So don't let it ever be said that I'm not one to shy away from new adventures. This is definitely a new adventure. I have never had any of this before, and even if I try my little creation, I don't know that it's going to be anything like any sort of traditional version. So I'm going to try a little bit of it raw. It actually isn't bad. Steam coming off that. She said to flavor with a little bit of salt. I've brought over a few things to try. think I put a little too much salt on there, but actually it does improve it. My favorite of the kids is just cinnamon sugar. Probably be best with a little bit of butter, but I could see a little bit of butter. Another common condiment, pepper. Let's see if it does any good. I think pepper does need some salt. I think that actually works really good. Fairly well. If you're American or British, you know, the comedy that will remain nameless. Comedy that will remain nameless. I think that one's a no-go. My mom used to use this a lot. That one's doable. I think the salt is probably the best, but Johnny's seasoning, maybe if I put some butter on it. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. Thank you for watching. The recipe is from foodparsed.com and the music is Country Boy from www.bensound.com.